So there's more than enough just bad going on with the story of the murder of Grace Moline. I don't know if you've been following this or not, but Grace was murdered in New Zealand. She was on a worldwide backpacking trip. And she found herself in New Zealand on Tinder and got hooked up with a dude, and he murdered her. At least that's what the jury discovered. They found him guilty of murdering Grace. And it's just everywhere you look, there's just bad. There's I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, it's obviously bad for her. You know, she's dead. It's bad for her family. And it might be bad for this guy, because this guy claimed in the trial that it was a little bit of rough sex that got carried away. It is things like this where we have arrived today, 2019. This is what feminism has done to us. Not the murder. No. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about is if I try to discuss something about this case. What was the background? What happened here? Why did this happen? Why was she going out with a dude she didn't know in a foreign country that she met on Tinder? You're blaming the victim, hamster. Blaming the victim, you evil, misogynist Nazi. This story is a cautionary tale. Now, I know a lot of feminists think, well, you hate us anyway. No, men don't hate women. In general, there are some, obviously, but in general, we don't. We don't want you to get, assaulted or murdered or, bad shit. That's not what most people want. It's like, dude, what were you thinking here? But let's walk through a little bit of this story. This is in the BBC. 3 weeks of evidence, hundreds of hours of painstaking police work, and a year of grief for a family. Yeah, this is tough stuff. So this guy, 27-year-old man, and they name him, although in New Zealand apparently there is a judge's order that doesn't allow the name to be released. It's all over the internet. I'll find some stories. I'll link it to you there. It's a good-looking kid, not a bad-looking guy. So the story goes like this. Grace Moline was on a round-the-world tour after graduating from college. So she was in South America, probably North America, and then she went to New Zealand. So she's, doing whatever, right? Screwing around for a little while before she has to become an adult. I certainly understand that. Grace had a little bit of a secret. And certainly, I'm sure her parents didn't know. Grace was into a little bit of kink, a little BDSM, a little dominatrix stuff, right? Choke, slap, tickle, whatever, right? That's her kink. I don't really care. But she decided, like 2 days after she arrived in Auckland, to hook up with a dude. Now, I'm not going to say she was on some kind of round-the-world tour. I don't know that. That's really none of my business. But women, you got to be careful. Call me blaming the victim, but what the fuck was she doing? Seriously, getting drunk. Seriously, she was, totally wasted here. And I think there was some marijuana in her blood. I'm not sure about that. She meets the guy. They go out to dinner. They drink heavily. 3 hours later, she's getting choked to death in this guy's hotel room. What? I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable with this unless I was looking just for a quick bang or something like that, right? Get on Tinder. I'm not really in a relationship. I just want to get laid. I'm in New Zealand. I want some jollies here. So she hooked up with this guy. He alleges that she choked to death during rough sex, asphyxiation, whatever. I'm not into that stuff, but okay, whatever, right? You choke somebody to get a better high, or no thanks. And he was so drunk, he claimed, that he went into the shower, passed out. And when he woke up, he made his way back to the bed. He didn't see the woman there. And he just assumed that she had, gone home. So the next morning he wakes up and there she is, dead in the hotel room. Now, what would a person do in this? It's a horrible situation. I don't mean to chuckle, but I'm thinking to myself, what the hell would I do? Well, I think I might call the police. It's like, look, this doesn't look good, but we, did a little kinky last night and we were really drunk and I guess it got carried away and I broke her windpipe or whatever. He didn't do that. What he did, he started figuring out ways to dispose of the body. And he wound up taking this woman's body out of the hotel room a couple days later, dropping her off in some rural area outside of Auckland, New Zealand, out in the woods somewhere. Now, that doesn't sound like someone who accidentally murdered someone. That sounds rather intentional. Now, you can look at the pictures, and I'll put some links, you can look them below. There was a lot of blood all over everything. He admits he tried to clean it up. Mr. Hamster, never been involved with any of this kind of thing. But if you were choked to death, for example, you broke her neck or something, why would there be blood everywhere? I would think you'd have blood, in certain things and feces. Certainly, I mean, once you die, things don't work right. But why would there be these massive pools of blood everywhere? I don't know. Now, the other weird part about this thing is this guy, the very next day, tried to hook up with another chick from Tinder. Of course, he wanted to have sex with her and all that, and she turned him down and blah, blah, blah. Thank God. He probably would have maybe killed her too. It turns out, it came out in the trial, you can read it, this chick was into the kink. She was on BDSM websites looking for whatever, right? So his story is not that far out of the belief area. I mean, if this girl, this woman, never participated in any of that kind of thing or wasn't on these dating sites, well, he could say all day long, well, she wanted me to choke her. Well, there's no evidence, but there is evidence that she was into that sort of thing. And there's a big write-up, I think it was in the Telegraph or the Daily Mail or something about, they have some BDSM experts, commenting and whatever. I think about it this way, I'm okay, foreign country. I mean, I'm sure New Zealand's it's a great place, great people and all that, but it's still, you're not local enough to know the weirdos, right? So this guy may have done this before, we don't know. I think it would be a stretch for me to get on Tinder or some other thing like that and ask someone I don't know to choke me while he's fucking me. I'm sorry. That seems a little bit too trusting to me. So there are a lot of steps that leads up to this horrible tragedy. Getting drunk, foreign city, guy you don't know, choke me during sex, and the woman paid with her life. Now, there are lots of really good people in the world, but there are enough bad people that you need to be careful about this stuff. I'm sure her dad probably told her, well, hey, you can't just, jump into the bed of any dude you meet because there are some bad people. And of course, she being 21, I don't give a shit. So it's really a shame. Like I said, a lot of sad to go around here. And a lot of, why did you do that? Which in this year is blaming the victim, of course. You can't even offer good advice. You can't even say, look, you do what you want with your life, but for Christ's sake, don't be jumping in the beds with dudes you don't even know. Maybe that's part of the thrill. I guess. I don't know. But the bottom line is this woman is dead. It seems, and he was found guilty of murdering her. I guess we'll never know. There's only two people in the room, and one of them is not with us any longer. I'll put the links below. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.